Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Masterclass Episode 3. I'm your host, Kobayshi Maru, and with me is my co-host, Tarn. Tarn, how was your weekend?
It was great. It was a great weekend. Yourself?
Good. I had a good weekend. Doing a lot, having a lot of fun with friends, getting in a bit of Hearthstone, and watching some Hearthstone as well online.
Awesome. Pretty much the same here. A lot of gaming, some good time with the family. Can't complain.
Cool. Very nice. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody joining us. This is our episode 3, and for this episode, we are going to be doing a couple of things we've done before and a couple of new things. So we're going to do a warm-up, and then right after that, we're going to jump into some customs with analysis. We're going to do a deck swap challenge where Tarn and I play against each other with each other's decks. Then we'll do a little Q&A for anyone who has questions on customs or deck swap. Since there was a balance update released today, we're going to talk about the balance update. And then we're going to do a little cooperative laddering, which will sort of be related to the balance update and stuff like that. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end for anything you've seen in the second half of the show or anything you want to talk about. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the show. So I'm just going to jump really quickly into the deck to talk a little bit about it very briefly before we move on. So this is, I call my fast AoE Shami, so area of effect. So I normally have two spell breakers for silence, but because I'm using Wild Pyromancer, which gets triggered off of spells, I'm using 2 Earth Shocks. They both have silence as well, and with all my other spell buffing, it's a good card. I do prefer a minion with my silence, but with this deck and the Pyromancer, it's much better to have the Earth Shock. 2 Lightning, 2 Rockbiter, a Blood Mage, 2 Fairy, 2 Flame Tongues. Those are standard. The 2 Pyromancers are the new cards. 2 Feral, 2 Hex, 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Sun Shattered Cleric are my other standards, and I do really like Sun Shattered over Defender of Argus in a Shaman deck, because that turn 3, turn 4, turn 3 you need it, or turn 4 when you've got 1 overload, you really can't play those defenders, so you do need the Sun Shattered. Leroy Jenkins is my finisher. Bloodlust is also a finisher. And then 2 Drakes, 2 Argents, 2 Fire Elementals is kind of my mid-late-ish game. And then Sylvanas as a solid 5/5 taking control of an enemy. So, yeah, that's the deck. So we can maybe do one more custom, and then we can jump into a little Q&A. And then if that's short, we can just kind of move on to the next step. Oh, we can do the deck swap challenge, excuse me, before that. So, yeah. So this, I've been playing on the ladder with this deck for a couple days, and definitely has some weaknesses, but it's a very strong deck and certainly deals with the meta. This kind of breaks the meta, trying to sort of stop small rush-down minion decks, particularly Warlock and Paladin. I'm in a tricky spot here, actually, but I might be okay. Okay, I got lucky. So yeah, your 1-drop, I got the 1 card that I can play on it that's strong. So my Earth Shock, while it does trigger well with a Wild Pyromancer, it also kills the leper without me taking any damage. And that 4 damage I would have taken if, let's say, I Rockbitered it, is brutal for me in the early game. So I'd be down to 25 right now, which, again, on turn 2 is not good against a mage. So that card is actually better Earth Shock against an aggro mage than the Spellbreakers. And now I'll have a minion out on board that if he brings out a minion that's scary, I could either kill the minion or maybe buff my minion to kill the minion. So I have options now. And there's a 3-drop. And if you can get rid of the Rager, you 100% have to get rid of the Rager, which I can. minimizing damage. Normally, I prefer board control and taking damage, but like I said, and like Tarn and I talk about all the time, you don't want to take any damage against a mage, whether they're aggro or not. You don't know early enough if they're aggro, although the Leper Gnome and the Rager are pretty obvious. Alright, 4 to go.
Yeah, usually by turn 3 or 4, you can tell if they're playing Berserker, Raging Worgen, Leper Gnome. They're going to be pretty aggressive. If they're playing a secret,
yeah,
that's pretty much an instant tip off, or something like Mirror Images, anything along those cards that can pretty much tip you off really early as to what the mage is doing.
So I've got some good options here. I've got the Sun Shattered Cleric to give my guy an additional buff, making him survive another turn. I've got the Coin, which can give me 5 mana, which I can bring out a Drake right away, which is actually also really nice. And then, if I don't want to bring out the Drake, I could coin a Totem, or coin a Flame Tongue Totem, and then bring out the Sun Shattered Cleric. I was originally thinking regular Totem, Sun Shattered Cleric, but now that I realize I have 5 and can bring out a Drake, I'm kind of okay with letting my Stoneclaw die, because I'm going to have an additional card, I'll have a 4/4 on the board, and I'll have a lot of other options. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say with this board position, the quicker you get the Drakes out, the better. I mean, there's nothing I could do to instantly kill it.
Right.
I mean, I take that back. I could, Sheeps or Fireballs.
Sure,
but
sure. But nothing.
Sheep or Fireball.
Nothing. You couldn't bring on an Argent, let's say, or trade 1/1.
Right. That's what I was getting at for sure.
The other reason I like the Drake was when I feel like I'm coining a totem, whether it's Flame Tongue or regular, and bringing out a Sun Shattered, I feel like I've used a coin and brought out 2 more minions. I've flooded the board on turn 5 for you. So like I feel like that's a really bad situation to flood the board right before, because you can kill everything and leave the Sun Shattered at 1. He's frozen and kill him next turn, and I've used my coin, so I feel like it's not a great option for me.
Right.
We should talk a little about these game boards while we're playing. This is actually my favorite game board. I think it's your favorite game board as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. More stuff to break, the better.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can try to grow boot. That's pretty fun. I would have to say that's my second favorite, growing boots. But breaking 8 things and then having the Griffin try to snip at me is pretty fun.
Absolutely. So I think I'm gonna bring out the Sun Shattered, and that'll leave me 2 more for a totem. So since I'm gonna bring out a totem, I do want to. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I can't really kill that without really expending a lot of energy, like a lightning storm or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna have to live. And with the ping, you're gonna be able to kill my Drake after you do some spell damage.
What to do?
Yeah. It's not a great option for me here. I'm thinking I want to bring out... I got a Feral Spirit. And now that I look at it, I think I want to bring out the Feral Spirit, which will protect my Drake for a little bit. And I'm going to bring out the Feral Spirit and then bring out a Totem. Instead of...
Yeah, it's not a bad play. It's just, it's tempo.
Yeah.
Keeping board control.
And I don't want your Sorcerer's Apprentice to be able to run into my Drake if it's one of the options you're looking for after you cast a bunch of spells. Although you could Blizzard for 4 and then do a ping. That's nice. It's quite nice. And That's what I've been waiting for, because I'm assuming you're blizzarding next turn, so I am going to at least make it hurt. I'm going to kill your board. With my lightning storm. And I've got a Drake on board, so guaranteed kill. And I've got 1 mana, but I'm gonna keep my weapon. That's good, solid. Very solid. So the one good thing though is that it's 30 to 28, so we are in good shape. I am in good shape because I haven't taken a lot of damage early. So with 5 mana on board, I think it's time to do...
I wonder.
I think it's time to do Pyromancer and Totem, and then kill your thing with my Rockbiter. So I'm going to do the Rockbiter first, so damage doesn't get done to my minions.
Do you like to play with fire?
Elements guide me.
And I'll take that 2 damage. You're down to 3 cards.
I wonder.
That's nice. So I could buff my 3/2, making it a 4/3, which will keep it alive when I kill your Harvest Golem.
I wonder.
And then I can yeah, no, it doesn't really make sense at this point. I think I should just kill your Harvest Golem with my Fire Elemental and let the Pyromancer just start doing damage. Yeah. And for my last 2, I can bring out the Flame Tongue. I can bring out a Totem. We'll bring out a Totem. I don't usually leave a minion on the board like that, but I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling like with my hand it's worth it at this point. Another Golem, that's really nice. Turn that into a sheep, it's really nice. And I mean, I know you said you had the sheep, but I'm not going to play as if you had it. Gotta bring out that guy as it is. Alright. So...
Oh, right. Not yet. I didn't even remember. Oh, I guess I did way back when.
Yeah.
True.
So I think...
It's been there for a while.
I'm gonna bring out the Sun Shattered to make this guy a 1, and then I'm gonna bring out a Flame Tongue to let it... to allow it to be capable of killing that guy. I'm gonna put him here.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Put that guy in the middle. And I've got 4 more to go. Another totem. And that's a good totem. And that guy stays alive. So
Yeah, I mean, I have to assume you have a hex, but I also have to gamble at this point that you don't have one.
yeah, and I actually do not have a hex, although if I did I would have used it. But what I can do is
I wonder.
Lightning Storm, killing the minion and the Argent, and I don't feel like a Lightning's going to be useful later in this game, considering you're not super heavy minion based, and you're looking for endgame damage, and then I can bring out my Argent and finish off your Argent. So, yeah.
I wonder.
With one card, and I'm at 26 health on turn 10. Yeah, there are definitely ways you can come back, but I feel like with 2 on the board and 3 in the hand, I feel like this game is close to wrapped up.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
If I roll knee.
Oh, that's a good card for you. That's,
I have no time for games.
I would really love that one, that rock, the silence. That would be really nice. Okay, so this is tricky because I have to play around Sylvanas. So, fine. Basically, I'm gonna give you a minion because I can't get rid of it. So, I think I need to trade the Loot Hoarder and not attack Sylvanas. I think I need to let Sylvanas live.
Push forward.
And I can't really bring out a gigantic minion right now. This is interesting. If I bring out my cards, then I'm going to give you the potential to take them. But at least it won't be till next turn. Or actually, you know what? You could, if I bring out a big minion, you could run Sylvanas into my Argent, killing it, and then you could ping your own guy to take one of my big guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a tricky little thing I need to worry about. So I think I'm gonna.
What to do?
I think I'm gonna go for damage here. So.
What to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for damage.
I mean,
Go ahead.
there's a third option. If you have something big, the third option would be just to do the 2-for-1 and then cast something that's big. And if it's a fire elemental, then it could be a full board clear type of deal.
Oh,
Meaning you
right.
sacrifice
Yeah.
both them for her,
yeah.
and then you get the fire elemental or whatever you have in your
Because I'm
hand.
way ahead, that might be the best idea. But the thing is, I have Bloodlust and a Flame Tongue, so I could put the Flame Tongue down, doing 11 plus 6, so 17. And that puts you at 7, which is actually not that close. But I also have Leroy Jenkins, which is 6. So next turn, with 10, I can do 3 from the Fire Elemental and 6 from Leroy. So I can kill you next turn, guaranteed.
That's true. Yeah.
And then in that
wasn't
case,
looking at your hands. So.
that's all right. And then in that case, I don't worry about the trade. So I'm gonna do that.
Push forward.
Yeah.
I do like that option, by the way, that you mentioned, to run them both in. I'm not used to playing against Sylvanas, so it's something that I didn't think about, and it's really good that you mentioned it. And I could keep it in my mind for future opportunities. Clear the board, get rid of everything on there because it's not super valuable, and then bring out my next round ahead of your round.
Right. Well, at least I'll have Flame Tongue.
You will have a flame tongue and 10 mana to do whatever you want with.
No, I won't.
Well, you just had 10 mana.
Oh, I thought you meant like next turn or whatever. Yeah, that's true. But now there's nothing I can do if you've got both.
I got the North Wind.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Time's up. Let's do this. GG.
I don't know. That's borderline. You could have killed me exactly with the. I'm just Actually, no, you couldn't have because they're both 6-drops. They're both 6-drops.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun, but let us do the more fun segment, which is the first ever deck swap challenge. Those of you who don't know what this means, it's Tarn and I tend to play certain styles in certain decks, and we're going to do the opposite.
Swap challenge.
All right, so I'm going to open up another custom.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you do the math and you have lethal the next turn, then that's absolutely every time. There's nothing I could have that would stop that.
Yeah.
I guess it would be like, no, those are 6-drops. I don't know. It would have to be like a Tastingo and a Sunwalker or something like that.
Yeah.
Just definitely aren't in the deck.
So this is my shaman that Mark's playing, that Tarn's playing, and that it's not the shaman you just saw. It's a slightly different modification, probably better towards what I'm playing against. And I'm playing his. I don't know. What do you call this priest? I know how to describe him. But what do you call
It's a control priest. It's a total control priest, essentially.
It's a troll. It's a troll control.
Whoa. Easy there. Easy there.
So this is more for fun, guys. We might be doing a little bit of analysis on the go, but this is just for giggles.
And this priest deck is so much better, so don't be surprised when it wins.
It would have nothing to do with my skill or ability. Actually, I think my shaman deck's gonna do pretty well against this.
Job's done.
Oh, those are interesting cards. So for those of you watching, nice. Good job, Philly Cheese. Congrats on 3-star Masters. Yeah, for constructed ideas, iHeartU's got some great options, so feel free to check out iHeartU. I write a lot of articles there. Orthosis Doa, I write articles there. It's good stuff.
Must consider.
Tricky.
Your magic shall not save you.
I'm so not used to playing this deck, I'm like taking a guess at how...
Wait a minute. Well, when we were trying to figure that out before, that's the answer.
What? What's the answer?
When you were setting up the deck, I don't have Spellbreakers in my priest deck.
No. This is a card I just stole from you, bud.
Oh, yeah, whoops. I forgot. My bad. I
Yeah.
totally have Spellbreakers in this deck, though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you thought stole, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. I thought that was just a random missing card. That's funny. Because it would be something that you would have in there.
Yeah. don't know if I like these options.
I wonder.
Yeah, I really don't like these options.
Shadow Madness. You got a Holy Smite for one of them? Yeah, okay.
I just want to keep that guy. I just want to hang out with him and say hi and pet him. Yeah, I think the patch is coming out in the next couple days. I don't know if it's tomorrow. We're going to do a little
We must
talk about
cleanse
the
the
patch.
Sunwell.
6 to go.
Second Shadow Madness. If that's a Soul Priest, you can't get him. Nice.
What you got over there? Oh, okay. It's an interesting card.
Nothing you want. Nothing you want.
Something I want. The Fairy Dragon. Looky what we have here.
To Northrend! Victory or death!
I like those cards in your deck that are mine.
Sure you do. Sure you do.
God, it is so. It's gonna be. Now I know. Like, it's so fun to use someone's deck against them. Brutal. Hey, that's not very nice.
You just wanted to join the taunting party, that's all.
To Northrend! Victory or death! Job done.
I like how you're playing the deck so far. I can say that you're playing it in a way that's good, aggressive, fun. Definitely pain in the butt. What you did? Did you take? Did I email you a copy?
I made
of
a
my...
mistake there. I made a mistake.
Oh, did you? Looks like a pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good move to me.
It's okay. Could have been better. Could have been better. It could have been. It could have been better.
I do believe you.
It's alright, though. Not used to these blue bordered cards here. Purple bordered, whatever they are. Navy, royal blue.
I must consider. I wonder.
It's perfectly fine if you don't have anything to play with that. But, in deck. But I guess you do have something to play, no problem.
Wait, what did you do that? Okay, hold on. You silenced the 3/5, making a 3/2. You had the spell damage on the board. Then you had the Pharaoh. Nicely done. That's a really nice play. That fork lightning comes in handy, huh?
Yeah. And so now you know. That was the mistake. I should have played the forked lightning on the turn before.
Okay.
Because he only had 2 minions and they were both at 3 health.
Okay.
But it evened out. It evened out. Holy fire.
We got a Drake. Not the totem you were looking for. Look at that. It's a lot. There's a lot going on right there.
Did I not even need the coin? I didn't, did I?
I don't know.
I miscounted that one. Whoops.
By the light.
You took the Doom Hammer.
Yeah, baby.
Damn it.
That's my joint right there.
Lord.
The Doomhammer's my joint. Thrall loves the Doomhammer, and even when I'm a priest, I love the Doomhammer. So if you want to play that Doomhammer at any time, you know, feel free. But I think it's still in your deck. All right. Since you have bloodlust in there, everything has got to go.
By the light.
It's a fire sale. Everything must go.
Priest with a Doom Hammer is just like, oh my god.
It's pretty awesome. Come on now.
I have no time for games.
Woohoo!
Forward shit.
Already attacked.
Job done.
5/7 Sylvanas and a 2/4 Doomhammer. These are quite the games. Yeah, we did see the patch. We're gonna do a little bit about the patch later. So. Oh wow, are you really gonna hit that? Oh, you silenced it. Nice. I was gonna say like, what are you doing?
What do you think I am, crazy?
No, I'm sure. I kind of looked at the chat and was interacting with our peeps while that happened. Okay. I'm almost at 30 health. Jesus.
That's the way it rolls.
And you know what? I'm running low on cards. So I'll just take those. And do I want to kill that and take 8 damage? Probably not. I'll have plenty of time to deal with this later. Totems are coming! It's funny because the irony is the cards I got in my hand, I know for sure you don't have now in your hand unless you just, you know, grabbed it this last turn. It's kind of funny.
Right, right.
I think I want some more cards. I'm not super happy with my hand. Let's see what you got over there. Oh! It's not a bad card. I think we'll use it.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been. I just didn't want to keep taking damage from that guy. It definitely could have been worse. Yeah, as I was saying, Dirty Deeds, we're going to do a little segment on the patch. If you look here on the agenda, somewhere there. Alright, what did I get? That's not bad.
I wonder.
By the light.
Sure, you've got stuff to deal with this. Ooh. Ooh. Look at that hex.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Oh, you got more. You got more coming at me, huh? Let's see it.
What to do?
Probably not.
No? Daisy? Daisy. Okay.
Is someone injured?
By the light.
I almost forgot I had a weapon. Oh, I put her in the wrong place. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Who plays
god.
the shaman here?
Oh my god. It's dude, this is schizophrenic. We're playing a deck swap challenge, and I'm deck swapping and taking my own cards back. It's really effing with my brain. This is not the right way to play this. Yeah. Oh. Well, I am down to one card, but I do have 27 health. That's a really funny card to get.
Look at that. Look at how long I held out. And that's how it's gonna repay me.
No idea what you're talking
Sad.
about.
If that rock biter was in my hand for like the entire game.
You just used a rock biter. Yep.
Mhm.
I feel ya. I don't know if that was premature, but we'll see.
No, not when we're getting towards the end of the game, really.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Plus, I would have been able to do absolutely nothing on that turn, which is also painful for me. It's not as painful for you. I know you're used to playing this deck. To Northrend? What? To Northrend? That's not cool.
Come on, bring it back. There you go. There you go. Seven.
I'm sure you can kill that.
I hope you like my
Oh,
invention.
little bitch. You little bitch. You top decked. You top decked.
To Northrend.
Oh, really? That's not cool, man.
It's fine.
You did
It's
that in
fine.
reverse order.
Just use your second mind control.
Okay. Why didn't you hit my guy and then kill him with the Argent?
Because I didn't.
Yeah. No, I do see that.
Yeah. What did I hit the Argent into though? I hit it into something.
To the Argent to get rid of the shield.
Oh, right.
So
I'm gambling that you don't have the second mind control in your hand, but the odds say you do have it in your hand. That's why.
okay.
Or Ragnaros.
Either, as long as it doesn't hit those little guys. I was questioning whether I should use the Shadow Word Pain, then I realized, well, if Rag hits it, that's 8 damage on top of it. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. That's strong. What do I do here? What do I do with these cards?
You just all you do is you heal up and you wait for me to die to lack of cards. That's really what you do.
How many cards
That
do you have?
is
3?
no
And
joke.
I've got 5? Okay. Fair enough.
'Cause I know you got a second Holy Nova in there somewhere.
I do have a second Holy Nova in here.
I know you've got what's her name, Priest,
Let me change your mind.
which would also be really good for you. There you go. That's her right now. I can tell.
Do I want the fairy? I can't target the fairy, right? Oh no, I can target the fairy. Do I want the fairy or do I want... You always take the totem. I guess I want the totem.
You can't take the fairy.
Yeah, you can.
Can't take it.
It's a...
Its attack is 5 right now. Its attack is 5. You can't take it.
Okay.
Let me change
Well, that
your
makes
mind.
that makes it easy.
And I still would have taken the totem, even if you could have.
Yeah, I
Because
figured
the
you would have.
fairy's health is going to get reduced.
Yeah, you always take.
Well, the fairy's health is going to be reduced.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
6, 5.
God, this deck is so painful to play against. Are you frustrated?
No, man, I love it.
You love it? Nice. I could have Shadow Worded the 1/2, then attacked the totem and taken no damage. Good call. Good call. Thank you, sir. That's totally expert notice that I made a mistake on. Wow. Dude, you are keeping it real. You are keeping it real with that board control.
The Searing Totem's got you, man. GG. Oh, man.
I'm almost out of cards.
Yeah, I think you've lost. I think you can't win this game. Holy fuck. This is crap.
No. You've got the second mind control. I know you do.
You're sure of it? I've got to have a holy
I'm
fire.
positive.
I've got to have a holy fire here.
No, you've used 2 holy fires already.
Oh, okay.
Nice try. I can count.
You said earlier I hadn't. You said earlier I had not. That's why I thought I hadn't.
No, I think I was talking about the I don't know. Anyway, here comes the mind control. I don't actually know what's the last card here. I know it's not enough to win.
Job's done. I'm out of cards.
Is it a? It's not a hex. Is it a hex?
Oh my god! Well, I can make losing pretty fun anyway.
Yeah.
Here's how we commit suicide.
Like my invention.
Not quite, but close enough. I'll set you up for lethal.
Nice. Oh, I love it.
Watch, let me get the totem. Give me a taunt. Yes.
What do you mean give you a taunt? You have to get a taunt. It's your last totem.
Oh, I have all the totems. I got the collection.
Oh, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this.
It's the Holy Nova. It's the Holy Nova. Oh, you got the Shadow Madness. Nice, of course.
Such a cool deck you made.
So good. Get
It's a
out of
great
here.
deck, dude. No, it's strong. It's very strong. It's painful to play against. Whenever I play against it, I want to kill myself. Oh. All right.
Yep.
That game.
Apologize. I have to step out for just 1 second.
As we
I
do,
will
I'm gonna
back
set
in,
up for the
a minute.
I'm gonna set up for the Q&A on the and a little talk about the patch since that game took a while. So go ahead and I'll see you in a sec.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, first of all, they're saying they want to change as few cards as possible. And so the cards they're changing right now are Sun Shattered Cleric, Flame Imp, Argent Commander, Mind Control, Starving Buzzard, Unleash the Hounds. I think a top tier hunter would not be so good, but there is a new interesting combination that they can use with the Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hounds, because when you lay down a Starving Buzzard and you play Unleash the Hounds, if your opponent, let's say, has 3 minions, you get 3 1/1s, so you now have 3 more cards, kind of refilling your hand. But we'll see. They mentioned they were going to keep an eye on certain cards and certain decks, and I think it sounded like they were talking about the Warlock to see if the Blood Imp needed to be dealt with. They are dealing with the Flame Imp, which I don't think is particularly OP right now. But so the Sun Shattered Cleric is going from a 3/3 to a 3/2. The Argent Commander is going from a 4/3 to 4/2. So I'm just kind of quickly going through the card changes. Sun Shattered Cleric, I went through the Argent. The Flame Imp did 2 damage to its own owner. Now it does 3. Mind Control is up to 10 mana from 8. Starving Buzzard, which was a 2/1, is now a 2/2. And Unleash the Hound. So for every minion summoned of your opponents, basically every minion they have on the board, you get a 1/1 Hound with charge. So, Tarn, I did mention really quickly that someone asked in chat about top tier hunters, and I mentioned something you and I talked about earlier, which is that the Starving Buzzard combination now, let's say you play that and your opponent has 3 or 4 minions on board, you can unleash and get 3 or 4 cards immediately. So that's an interesting little combo. But I do think this is going to severely hurt the hunter decks in general, which are mostly 1-turn kill decks. And those will not be viable anymore.
It's going to definitely eliminate one-turn kills for sure. That's gone.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to really. I mean, I think it's going to be fun. I'm actually considering looking into a hunter, maybe to construct this week, actually, just because I actually like the changes. I like the new mechanic of Unleash the Hounds. I think is really interesting, especially when combined with the Buzzard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's got different potential. I think since one turn kill has been so strong, everything's been focused around that, and Hunter I think is pretty underexplored as to different options that you can do. And I've been noticing different options creeping in there, like more of hybrids with the 1-turn kill type of thing going on lately.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it's just time to take those hybrids and expand them into their own core ideas themselves.
Yeah, totally. I think it'll be interesting to see if it does help unleash the hunter and allow people to sort of explore other options. It's a good change in my mind, because I think the one-turn kill hunter is not that fun, both to play and to play against, and it locked the hunter into one type of gameplay, and this unlocks that. Guy in chat says Blood Imp should be removed from the game. To be honest, it just screws too much up with the game. Tarn, what are your thoughts on that? I know you and I briefly talked about it off stream, but I know you have some opinions on that.
Sure, perfectly. I actually feel the Blood Imps is fine. I think there's just a lot of a lot of options that aren't currently being explored. A lot of different like, what is it, the Doomsayer or whatever, not Doomsayer, well, yeah, Doomsayer, Wild Pyromancer. There's a lot of options for small AoE out there.
Yeah.
In its current version, I could see it being nerfed a little bit. I'd be okay with it, going up from a 1 mana cost to something like a 2 mana cost, or I think 2 mana cost. I think going a little higher than that would be kind of crazy. But honestly, I think it's okay.
So I disagree with Tarn. I don't actually agree with Guy in chat either. I don't think it should be removed from the game. I kind of chose sort of the middle of the line, which is I feel like there are ways to deal with it. So, for example, another guy in chat says that you need to be aggressive and have fast creatures early to keep control. It's an issue that doesn't allow Hearthstone right now to support late game control strategies. So that I agree is true. It's really hard to have a control style. That priest we just saw is one version that is sort of working right now, and it's particularly working because of the way it takes minions from its opponent and uses them against him, as well as drawing cards from his opponent. But I think that in terms of the Blood Imp, personally, I think it's okay if the minion either does buff all of the minions on the hit side of the board and loses stealth, or it keeps stealth and buffs 2 minions. The minion to its left and its right, kind of like a Defender of Argus. So the other option would be if they gave a neutral card that would remove stealth, like Flare, something like that. But that being said, I'm also okay with them, let's say, removing stealth and making it like a 2/3 or 3/2 or maybe even a 3/3. We'll see. I just don't think that the Flame Imp is an issue, so that nerf seems a little weird. I'm talking about the Blood Imp. The Flame Imp was nerfed, and I don't see any issue with that card. The Blood Imp is the stealth minion, guy in chat. So the Hunter as we know it is totally dead. I agree with guy in chat on that. Going on to these other changes, let's talk a little bit about the Argent Commander, because I think you and I both agree the Argent Commander and the Sunshatter Cleric are good changes. I particularly believe they're good changes because they don't make them so weak that they're going to come out of everybody's deck. They might come out of certain decks in certain situations, but on the whole, they will stay in most of the decks they're in. But now they're just a little bit weaker, allowing other opportunities for the game to evolve and develop. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think those changes are perfectly fine. I think, basically just to echo what you said, probably for 95% of the cases, they're going to stay in the decks that they're currently in. Mm-hmm. However, it may, in some cases, open a mind for consideration of different cards. And then even just with them staying in, it gives a little bit more wiggle room for dealing with them once they're played. And I think that's just what Blizzard was aiming for. And so I think they kind of hit the mark with those 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just so you know, guys, I'm pulling up chat now. So we have a little, the bottom of the chat window available on stream. So I will say, when I first saw the Sunshatter Cleric and the Argent, my initial reaction with the Sunshatter Cleric was good change. My initial reaction with the Argent was bad change. And this is why. I thought that the Argent, I thought the goal of nerfing the Argent was to actually change the type of card it is, so it's not run in every single deck. If they do not want it run in every single kind of deck, this is not a good change, because it's still a 2-for-1. It's a 4/2 now with a shield, and as the Divine Shield kills 1 minion on the charge attack for 4 damage, which it was always going to kill a 4 health minion, it then now is 2 health and will generally trade for something that does a minimum of 3 attack, now a minimum of 2 attacks. So it was always going to be a 2-for-1 with this change. And I was thinking originally, maybe they don't want it to be that strong of a minion. But if Blizzard, in its infinite wisdom, does want this to stay similar to what it was, keep its same capacity, same use, this is the way to nerf it. Which is what Tarn said, which I also said earlier.
I mean, I feel they're staying, true to the core of the card. Mm-hmm. In most cases, it'll still be for a 2-for-1. However, with it being a 4/2, with certain classes, it opens itself up to the AoE removal, not making it a 2-for-1. Consecration, Blizzard, Holy Nova, those types of things that can be played after the Argent, which previously wouldn't actually kill the Argent off straight up.
Right.
Those things can kill the Argent straight up. Smaller minions, like, say, the remaining Shattered Golem off of a Harvest Golem, something like that can kill it off. Smaller things. So while it'll, in a lot of cases, still be a 2-for-1, it won't necessarily be as big of a 2-for-1 in most cases. And I think that's just the change that they were looking for, just to tune it down a little bit on the second kill for the card, or the second potential kill for the card.
Sure. And Dirty Deeds in chat agrees with you. Said basically the same thing, also dies to AoE. And he then further said something which I like, which is, he said, he wishes that Mind Control kept its cost but was silenceable. Gives us more reason to have silence in decks and more interaction with their cards. This is something I agree with 100%. I'm okay with keeping it at 8 or maybe moving it to 9, either or, but it should be silenceable. And for me, its need to be silenceable isn't about making a broken card not broken. It's about keeping true to game mechanics. So you have a spell. The spell has an effect. The effect is to take a minion, and now you control it. And now it doesn't actually say on the bottom you control this minion because it's been mind control, but it may as well, because a spell inflicted that change of mind. And I feel like that should absolutely be silenceable. And from that point, decide what the proper mana cost is. So I agree 100%. Another guy in chat saying mind control at 10 is unplayable. Probably unplayable. I think 9 would have been a better nerf if they were going to keep everything as it was. But, Blizzard's working step by step, and maybe they'll bring it back to 9 after they go to 10 for a week or a month or what have you. I'm going to go quickly back to the website. So
yeah, as far as
I think
as far as mind control goes,
mind control. Yeah,
I do like the concept of the silence in some degrees. The game mechanic just isn't quite there for them to do it the way the game. Well, there's only like 1 or 2 cards that actually kind of work that way. It's interesting. It's like the Blessing of Wisdom, right, from Paladin. That's a blessing that you can put on your enemy, and it specifically says on the bottom of the card, it specifically states the player who cast this card type of thing. So they'd have to put that functionality on the mind control to tag it to go back in terms of the silence, which I think would be a cool mechanic to deal with. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
As far as the cost being 10, I think it's still totally playable. I think Priest just has to, if you want to be centering around mind control, you kind of have to just use different mechanics in the early game. It doesn't. What it kind of eliminates is Priests being both aggressive in the early game and then falling back on mind control.
Mm-hmm.
With a deck like you just saw Kobe play in the deck swap challenge, if you're just staying passive and controlling the whole entire time, with that deck, when I play it, I often don't find myself casting mind control until 10 mana anyway. Now, the bonus is being able to cast mind control and heal, or mind control and Shadow Word Pain. I think that is where they wanted to eliminate that. So,
sure.
9 mana cost would have effectively eliminated that as well, and you'd get the mind control still 1 turn earlier. So, I don't know. You could be right on them falling back to 9, but personally I'm okay with 10 the way it's at.
How is Wild Pyromancer in that Shaman deck? So, like, how do I like it? Or how is it possible? Wild Pyromancer is a...
It's not possible.
Wild Pyromancer is a classless card, so it totally fits in any deck. I assume you're asking, how do I like it? I love it. It is my second favorite addition to this deck in the last month. It's working wonderfully. Let me explain. My favorite first shift was when I went away from control into an early aggression with a mid-game shift. So Tarn and I worked on this deck, and basically we decided it needed early aggression, so Fairy Dragons and Flame Tongues came in. We needed a mid-game transition, which is what the Azure Drakes do, keeping heavy minions on board and getting some card draw, and then transitioning to my late-game minions. So now, the Pyromancer. I absolutely love this card. It does so many combos. So first of all, it combos with Earthshock wonderfully well. I can do 1 damage to a minion that has, let's say, a Divine Shield, like a 1/1, and then the Pyromancer does 1 damage to everything on the board, killing all of the 1/1 minions and killing that minion with Divine Shield. Another one of my favorite combinations is when you throw down the Pyromancer, seeing a board of mostly small minions and then 1 big minion. That's usually really hard to deal with. You've got like a giant minion that you'd normally need to hex, or with a different, let's say, polymorph with a different class, and then you've got all these small minions. So how are you gonna like hex and then lightning storm? It just takes a lot of mana. Well, in this case, you don't have the overload of lightning storm. You throw down the 2-cost Pyromancer, and then you hex the big minion. It doesn't matter what it is, Rag, Sylvanas, Argent, Fire Elemental. Hex that baby, becomes a 0/1 frog. Pyromancer kills everything on the board, including the frog. You have a clear board, and your minions on board, as long as they had more than 1 health, will push forward and start attacking immediately on that turn if you had anything on the board. So, yeah, there's some good combinations with Priest and Wild Pyromancer because you can heal things, which actually brings me to the other reason I love Wild Pyromancer in my deck. If I ever get out a healing totem, well, Pyromancer costs me nothing. It does no damage to my minions. I throw my minion down, I cast a spell which takes something out, hexes something, silences something, or I just bring out Feral Spirits, and those Feral Spirits will basically trigger the Pyromancer. Well, now everything on my board takes 1 damage, everything on his board takes 1 damage and hopefully dies, or it gets close to death, and then all of my minions heal up at the end of the turn, effectively negating the Pyromancer damage. It's really, really strong. I'm enjoying the dynamic. The other thing, actually, you know what? I've said plenty. Tarn, what do you think about the Pyromancer in the Shami deck?
I think it's fantastic, basically, for all the reasons you just mentioned. Essentially, what it is a +1 spell damage, but better because it's actually doing the damage to everything. Yeah. So, I mean, you can, on top of what you said, you can get the extra damage if you cast a Rockbiter weapon.
Sure.
That's another damage, making the Rockbiter now worth 4. Another damage if you cast just a Lightning Bolt. Now you're striking for 4 instead of 3.
Yep. So
essentially, it's like a extra spell damage totem that's actually doing the damage to everything else as well. So it's great early game. It's great late game, like you said, for the hex combo. I think it was an absolute, pretty much brilliant put in. I forget, you didn't even really. You took out a Novice Engineer and I don't know. I can't remember what the other thing is that you took out of that deck. But.
Well, I'm trying to think. It's been a little bit since I looked at the older deck.
I think you took out a Forked Lightning.
Yeah, well, okay, but the Forked Lightning was specifically because I didn't have enough AoE.
No, you have Forked Lightning. Never mind.
No, I took out a Forked Lightning.
Yep.
That's not in there.
Oh, you do have it? Okay.
Yeah, that's not in there. A Forked Lightning came out. The other one thing I really love about the Pyromancer, like you just said about casting a spell and the spell damage. So yeah, you can add 1 spell to your Rockbiter or to your Lightning Bolt. But if you're at that stage where you need to do a Lightning Storm and you don't have that Blood Mage or you don't have that Totem, you guarantee the 1 spell damage with the 2 cost, which is the same cost as my spell damage Totem. But even stronger than that is if you have a minion like a minion with a Divine Shield or you have a minion like a Blood Imp on the board, the Pyromancer does the damage directly after the spell, so it becomes in 2 hits. So you get the 2 to 3 damage of the Lightning Storm, wiping out, let's just say, either a Divine Shield or the Blood Imp, and then, causing the damage to all those other minions. Usually, those minions, if there's a Blood Imp out, are left with 1 health. Boom, everything gets cleared with that 1 extra Wild Pyromancer damage. It's quite brilliant.
Right. Yeah, that's the best distinction to make. Is it's it's a plus spell damage, but the plus damage comes after the initial wave, and so it's 2 hits in, like you just said, taking out Divine Shields, or first clearing out the Blood Imp and then polishing off the rest of the minions with the second wave of 1 damage. It's it's great. Unfortunately, it's one card that I have 0 of. I will be looking to craft them when I can, because I'm actually wanting to play with them myself. But it's a great card.
Yeah.
It's a great card.
Well, it's not quite a Dirty Deed. It's not quite a Blood Mage 2/3 because you don't get a card draw off of it. And I do love the card draw from the Blood Mage. And I also love the fact that the Blood Mage doesn't take any damage. If I have a Blood Mage and I have a Wild Pyromancer, they're good for very different situations. The Pyromancer is good for anything with Divine Shield or like a Blood Imp, small minion board. The Blood Mage is really good for just doing 1 extra damage on everything, really wiping out your opponent's board, taking that overload from your Lightning Storm, or if you're using Fork Lightning, and then doing no damage to any of your minions. So they're just very situational. But what I've learned, my favorite thing about the Shaman and my favorite thing about Hearthstone is if you have similar abilities, but all with slight differences, like Earthshock does 1 damage and silence, Lightning Bolt does 3 damage, no silence. You've got Pyromancer that does 1 damage to everything after the fact, and you've got Blood Mage that does 1 damage on top of everything in turn. You get all these little tweaks and all these little options, and you get with the 4 or 5 cards, or if you have any kind of card advantage, which the Azure Drakes and the Blood Mage help you to get, you get all these options, and you can use your brain and sit there and rack your brain and figure out exactly what is the perfect, most optimal situation with just these cards and just this situation. And I think that is fundamentally the heart and soul of what Masterclass is. It's Tarn and I loving this game, loving situational analysis, and going through deck after deck and trying to figure out how to learn quickly and how to teach quickly. And we found that just looking at cards on their own doesn't really do that, but having a great variety of decks and a great variety of cards and playing situations in the decks we normally play and decks we don't normally play, looking at the metagame, kind of doing it all together is really the quickest way to learn and the best way to learn. At least that's what I think, and I've said quite a bit. So, Tarn, any thoughts on that?
No. I mean, I agree 100%. My learning through Hearthstone has been 100% hands-on. I just haven't really got out there and watched too much on my own yet. I have here and there, and I've been trying to watch more when I can. But definitely from the beginning, it was 100% hands-on. It's kind of a little bit brutal at first, but it's the quickest way to get a leg up. And then if you have someone with you to do that with you when you're starting out, it's exponential. So that's kind of what we were doing for each other, and that's kind of what the core of what we wanted the show going forward is. To kind of put the show out there and go through that process on the show, and at the same time, it comes right back at you. We get comments in chat or comments on the comments when it shows up on YouTube or whatever, that teach us something too. Everyone's got their own little bit of input, and it's impossible to have heard everything. And so it's just great to get out there and share the knowledge, and sharing the knowledge in practice is the quickest way to learn. Yeah,
and that's what this show is. We've decided. I mean, I've written a lot of articles for iHeartU, and I love those articles, and I enjoy doing them, and I learned a lot doing them. Moving forward, I'm continuing to write articles for iHeartU, but I found that doing a 1 hour, 1 hour and a half show each week with someone who knows so much about the game, a lot about the heroes, and we're practicing together constantly, as well as having chat and looking at the meta, watching shows. It all sort of comes together on this show for us. And, that leads me to what Tarn was just talking about, which is reaching out and connecting and sharing. If you guys want to find me on Twitter, I'm Kobayshi Maru. You can find me at the bottom of this, of my Twitch. Or you can find Tarn. Tarn, what's your Twitch? It's Tarn33, right?
Yeah. Twitch TV /Tarn33.
Mm-hmm. And I've got and I've got a YouTube channel, which is CNEGRIN, CNegrin. That's my YouTube channel where I post the VODs for this show and a lot of my matches. And then, like I said, subscribe to me here on Twitch as well. This is like the heart and soul of what we want this show to be, and we're going to continue to develop new segments. Like the deck swap challenge was something that Tarn thought about last week, which was a lot of fun, and I think we're going to probably do a segment in the future where we ask people to submit their decks, and we'll look at them, build them ourselves, play them, and critique them, and sort of make them better, see where they could go and how. We have a few ideas from different segments moving forward, but right now I feel like the show is going in the direction we'd like, and I'm very happy with it. So with that, I'm going to get ready to close the show out and start to end episode 3. Tarn, anything you want to say to the people, the fine people who've been with us tonight, or the people we're going to watch in the future?
You are awesome. No, truly, thank you guys for hanging out. It's been fun. It's a lot of fun every week. Look forward to it every week, and it's always a great time. So thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, thank you for having me on the show, and hopefully I don't get fired between now and next Monday.
I don't know. Should we ping a totem and see what comes up for the RNG?
Well, then I'll just walk out the door right now, because we already know what that is.
No, great job once again. This has been episode 3 of Masterclass. Thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you again. Episode 3 for next week, same time, Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks again for everybody in chat, all you guys watching on YouTube. Subscribe, watch, chat, email. Check out iHeartU, a lot of good stuff there. King of the Hill, Turn 2, wonderful content, forums. iHeartU, baby, do it. So from me and from Tarn, thank you very much. And anybody mind if I roll need?